this money this week. Yeah. Shit look amazing to me. Yeah.
Guys, we're back.
Oh, shit.
Hello. I know I didn't give Manny any kind of fair warning.
Staring away.
Yeah. So, welcome to the Will Ray Show. I'm Will. That's Manny. Back for another episode.
I feel like every time I come in here and look around, it's just something different.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
I notice it too, because we're in me and my wife's office, more or less her office, my chill room basically, and she usually uses the decor and she'll bring something in, something that I haven't noticed, and I'll be like, "Where the hell did you get that?" It's like, "Oh, that's been there for like 2 weeks. You haven't noticed that?" No, I haven't.
Like, I haven't noticed that.
Which one?
The
hair clips.
Yeah.
We remember. I don't know if you remember, but over on this side we had the dresser, and she tried to put it on the dresser, and the dresser just wouldn't work.
See, that's why I was like, I got lost. But all right.
Yeah, I know. Again, Malik out
Couldn't be here.
sick.
Sick.
Lisa's. I don't know if it's their engagement anniversary. I am so horrible with this. I know mine, but Lisa is out for her anniversary with her husband, my brother-in-law Kyle.
My best friend. Lover.
Technically Manny's first lover, and only lover, really.
Yeah.
So they're going out. Hopefully we'll have the whole crew, or at least somebody else with us next week, even though we're cool rocking out just by ourselves.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No. So if you haven't heard, just before we get into our main stuff, if you haven't heard, there's 2 quick things. They found the Hawk 2 girl, if you haven't remember.
I saw
her.
her.
So
Barstool, right? She was on Barstool Radio.
Yeah. She's 21. I forgot her name already because it's not really that important. It's just that it's a viral video that you could do. Any of the rumors that you've heard basically
Are false.
Are false.
She doesn't have. She's not a bartender.
No.
She wasn't working at a factory or something. I know she's a sea salt factory.
Supposedly, yeah, she worked there, but she wasn't a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, not a teacher.
Her father isn't a pastor or anything. You just hear all these different types of rumors once you go viral and they can't find you.
I have seen most of the comments like underneath Barstool radios, and they're all pretty much just telling her like, "Hey, you might as well like find something to do with your 15 minutes of fame now."
And that's what she's doing. She said that in the interview. I watched I watched bits of it on TikTok, and I sat back and listened. And I think initially when the video went viral, like anything, you don't know how it's going to do. But once it blew up the way that it did, I guess somebody said, "Hey, girl, you got to do something."
Yeah.
And but supposedly she's going to be doing a podcast. She's going to do the rounds. So basically, she'll probably be on Stiff Socks. Any LA podcast that's over there. She's not an East Coast.
Most people are telling her not to do it, not to do podcasts and like find something.
Oh no, do it. Get the money that you're going. She's probably going to make around $500,000, maybe $700,000 doing all this. And then I'm pretty sure OnlyFans or somebody's going to try to be like, "Hey, well, since you did the Hawk 2,
I feel like I forget who, but there was like some like influencer that said you might as well just skip the podcast, start your OnlyFans, get your quick $2 million that you'll make just because everyone's going to want to see something, and then call it quits." Because pretty much. That's how. So it's hard to go far when like your viral moment really is like a quick
it is
one-liner.
Because that's all you got. And it's like, dude, say something else.
You know what's crazy though? It's like probably like she was probably at the club drinking, she's drunk, and then like someone random. She probably thought like, this is never gonna be that viral.
I've been to Nashville, and I think I know the place where they were. I think it might have been that that. I don't think it was that main strip they were at, but yeah, you're coming out the club. Somebody says, "Hey, say something funny," or say something. And you're like, "Well, I don't know, but okay." It's the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah, and it works out.
It is.
I feel like it's probably like the quickest way, really, to just get viral randomly nowadays.
Well, see, the problem is we're not pretty. She's pretty, she's blonde, and she says something very sexual.
You're not pretty.
I'm sorry. Well, you're pretty. You're very pretty, man.
Thank you.
But no, she's blonde, she's pretty, she says something sexual, and people ran with it. If it was a...
Did you ever do the precedents?
Yeah.
That was funny.
It was funny.
I guess I judged the book by its cover. That's on me. I was thinking, you think she likes Trump?
No, and that's what I thought too, because not all subjects. And trust me,
Judge a book by its cover. I won't lie.
we're not going to touch on the debate. We're not going to touch on anything
Nah,
that's
nah.
happened with the Supreme Court. Nothing. I don't care. I'm done with it. I'm booking my ticket to Canada soon, so it's going to be over. But speaking of blondes and everything like that, I just want your thoughts. So overseas in London, a situation has happened with a prison guard, a female prison guard, was caught in a viral in
You know what that reminds me of?
what
The cop in
Uh-huh.
America that got in trouble for.
the female version, or
Well,
the male one.
yeah, but
Okay.
like it wasn't as like he didn't do anything. He was just on camera while on duty.
Oh no! I know what you're talking about. Where the cop pulled over a girl and she said something and he fondled her, but she asked to be fondled. Is that what you're talking about?
No. It's the one where like, if I remember right, in the video, the girl says, "What can I do to get out of the ticket?" And the
Yeah.
police officer just goes like, "I've seen your tits online. I don't care. I can find them online."
I think that might be the same thing.
Oh, okay, it might be, but
Yeah.
apparently he was. It was all part of the bit,
Yeah.
and so that it kind of reminds me of that. But I think the UK ones.
No, the UK one, unfortunately, is real. There's no bit. Basically,
Well, that wasn't a bit too. I just meant like
no,
he
but
was part of it.
it was
This
a part
is-
of it. So, but he went as far as his limit could go because he knew he could get in trouble, even though he still
He
got in
did get
trouble.
in trouble, yeah.
You know what I mean? So he didn't go too where he was like, "Oh my god,
They haven't said what's gonna happen to her yet, right?
she's going to jail."
Is she going?
I don't know. UK laws and our laws.
Yeah,
are
we're
totally
different laws.
different.
It's like we can't say what applies here. So
Yeah,
apply there.
but basically, she was. I don't know. First, jail is kind of different in all over places because I don't know how a prison
Did you
inmate had a phone and was able to record.
I don't want to
it.
be mean, but did you see like their room? Their room wasn't the worst.
It wasn't the
Yeah,
worst.
it wasn't that bad.
But basically, he just recorded his cellmate just digging out this prison guard, and I'm like, oh, cool.
I thought it was fake. At
But-
first. I really thought it was fake.
Because
Because
like one of those-
Twitter, anything you see on Twitter, you're always gonna. Because just nowadays, Twitter's really just filled with
but
random skits.
it is. But it's also it was kind of weird. And granted, I watched the whole video. It was 2 minutes and stuff like that. I don't look at me like that. Because I had to figure out if it's 100% real. And then when he went to a certain angle, you're like, oh, okay, this is 100% real. And I'm like, oh, so maybe it might be like one of those UK amateur type things, right? Which is kind of bad either way. I'm sorry. But no, it was real. And it comes to find out she has a whole husband and a child.
I think 2 kids. I saw.
2 kids. I don't know. I'm not trying
But she
to
had the
spread
wedding
rumors.
ring on and
Yes.
everything too.
But it was just more or less, Manny. This is more or less just to if just say that's your wife, and you
She-
go through Twitter and you see something like that, and on that day, because I'm pretty sure it didn't happen on the same day, but just on that in particular day, you're like, babe, how was your day? And she said it was amazing, no trouble whatsoever.
Nah.
And you figure out and you see that video and you're like, no wonder why there weren't any trouble.
I mean, what could you do? There's nothing you could say.
Yeah, I mean, you kill
You
her.
might just have to leave.
I would kill her, but that's just me. I don't advocate murdering your wife.
your
but
children?
You see that.
What about your kids?
I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure some repercussions are going to happen because that is frowned upon.
If
in
he's
America
lucky, he
and
gets
that.
the Kai treatment. Remember when that one girl that went on stage with the performer, like
Mhm.
singer,
Yeah,
Kai Cenat
yeah,
grabbed the guy and brought him to his stream,
Yeah.
like the boyfriend, and he made a bag out of all of that stuff. He did
Listen.
the 1v20 with the girls, all of
Yeah.
that stuff. If he gets lucky,
I mean, look, I don't know. That's just a very,
that's-
very shocking moment because it's more or less like what would compel you or what. First off, I don't know why I don't even understand because sometimes this isn't allowed. A female prison guard
and
on
a
the male
man's-
side.
Yeah.
But again, this is UK, so it's kind of more subdued. You're not facing, and it's not even over here, but you're not in a area or
Props to the guys though. At least they didn't kill her.
no, but
Most places here, some jails here.
but that's
are
what I
pretty
mean.
bad.
What can I mean? She was. I'm not gonna say she was pretty or good looking, she was attractive,
I can't
you
remember.
know. But it's just weird. It's just weird because now it's just like God, you don't know what's going to happen. This is all fake. It's all fake, honestly. But
I'm waiting for it to come out, and they're like, "Yeah, this was fake the whole time."
it, that
But
wouldn't
I
surprise
don't.
me. But
But
I would be.
that room looked a bit too real
It was.
in jail and all of that stuff. But
Oh well.
it's crazy. I don't know what I would do. I
Luckily,
mean, yeah, probably the first thing that pops into your head is, yeah,
I'm killing her.
I'm killing her.
I'm going to choke the living daylight out of
And
her.
then the other part, if you start thinking rationing, like, yo, the kids. Yeah, the kids.
That's
yeah.
after you finish the act and you're like, oh my god, I killed my wife. What about the kids? And sometimes you gotta be like, kids, you gotta understand your mom is a piece of shit. So it is what it is.
I am hoping to see what she says, though. I gotta see.
If I'm her, I'm not saying nothing.
She could turn into a victim, like blame the husband.
That still doesn't negate the fact of what you did. There's no getting out of it. She's gonna.
Oh no, yeah, there's no getting out. I'm just saying
she's gonna get dealt with harshly, and it's probably gonna be.
Maybe we don't. Like I said, we don't know how it
what's
is over there.
What's crazy? She's gonna be at the same prison that she guarded, but on the other side with the females. It's gonna be.
The females are probably gonna be angry now.
Well, she's gonna be the one trying to look to get some tail. Right? Listen, it's bothersome. It is.
It's an issue right there. But yeah, I don't know what to do.
No, I don't either. And we've been on this a little bit too, because I'm like,
your wife's gonna kill you.
I'm gonna kill. No, not me. I would kill her if that was her. But
no, I'm saying your wife's gonna kill you for talking about this video for too long.
Well, look, she knows Twitter is
basically
not X. It's called X, which is so funny because we're calling it Twitter. So it's X-rated. Basically, you're bound, and even though I forgot his name, the guy that owns it, that's Tesla and all that. I can't think
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk basically said, the X-rated stuff is now free for all, even though it was already kind of free for all.
Did you see that? Apparently, he's been like joking around saying that he might take away likes and comments.
That I wouldn't be mad at that. Only because like now we're in such a freelance world where you can say whatever, and granted, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's fine. It's fine. I'm only on Twitter really for breaking news and certain drama. I'm not there for that.
I'm on Twitter for sports and anime.
Same, almost same. I'm just there for that. It's like my news source. If something drastic happens, that's what I'm on.
I just especially like NBA or NFL, all trades will always be posted on X
on
first.
Twitter first, especially the Woj bombs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But speaking of what's real and what's hard to believe, Marvel hasn't been at San Diego Comic-Con for a while due to the pandemic and them being bigger before 2020, I would like to say. And they would have their own celebrations, or they would do something outside of that, and I think they still will. But this year, they're going back to San Diego Comic-Con in Hall.
I think they're gonna drop a bomb.
But what bomb?
There's many. You could Tony, Robbie Downey Jr. coming back.
Wow, okay.
I mean, that would be a bomb.
We know that's going to happen because of Secret Wars.
We still don't know that's going to be him.
No, I mean
Chris Evans could come back.
This could honestly help them in a way because they, I don't know if you've heard, but they're having a lot of issues trying to get the Blade project going. They've gone through countless directors and countless writers. Mahershala Ali, who was scheduled to play Blade, he's getting a little agitated. So it's like, when are we going to do this? And it's hopefully maybe then we'll get some type of news on Blade at Hall H.
I don't think we will. Maybe.
But is it a good thing or a bad thing that they're returning back to Comic-Con?
It's probably a good thing for like the fans. It's good for them. It probably means nothing, just because like you said, just like Star Wars, they hold their own celebrations.
Yeah,
Marvel's big enough to where they can do that.
Yeah,
even if they were to lose money on that event, they wouldn't be losing money. Like to them, losing like what $100,000, maybe $1 million is like, all right,
maybe, but it's more or less. Usually before, especially before the pandemic, before I want to say 2019, Hall H was the boxing ring for both DC and Marvel, where you went blow for blow. They're like, all right, yo, we got this coming out. We're going to show you this, and you basically say who's got the edge. Granted, the presentations at Comic Con was more or less won by DC, but the problem was their first punch didn't land because once the movies come out, you're like, whereas Marvel's it'd be like, yeah, we have this, and this, and then you're like, yeah, and then you see you're like,
They could finally be, X-Men.
somebody also said that maybe this could be because I don't know exactly when does Comic Con hit
Should be
because
next month or the
no, it's this month because
I
we're in
was
July.
I was gonna say the end of this month, right?
But in terms of the exact date, because I wonder if this will reside for
Before
Deadpool and Wolverine. Maybe it's another announcement. Maybe it's the transfer of power from Hulk to Wolverine, because I know a lot of
They
fans
could be
want
bringing
that.
in Spider-Man.
You could be bringing in Spider-Man.
Maybe they finally had a different deal with Sony or something.
Oh, look, Sony is pretty much, it is what it is with Sony. They know they can do their own Spider-Verse, what they have tried, and they somewhat success, some not success. Their problem is...
what? The only non-success was what? Venom?
No, he's the only success.
The games?
Well, no, I'm talking strictly movies. We know Spider-Man is always...
But Sony really just cares about the game. They don't care about the movies to them.
At that point, honestly, you should focus only on the game. That's your money maker. But also, it's a different revenue stream if you can get the the movies going. So it's basically Comic-Con this year basically resides when Deadpool and Wolverine open. It's from the 25th to the 28th. Yep. Deadpool opens around that time.
Hugh Jackman might be doing another movie then.
This could be it, but he could also be... I expect some Fantastic Four news, whether it's stills or maybe the suits. Maybe an X-Men type movie is announced. Maybe the cast has been picked. That's a possibility.
Depends what year they go to as well. Like what they decide to do, like an early X-Men, older X-Men.
Well, what they're doing with Fantastic Four supposedly is this. They're basically going to start the movie off with them in the 60s, where they're the only heroes in a different universe, mind you, which is crazy in itself. I know it can get confusing. They're going to be in their own universe at first, and then whatever portal they get transferred in halfway through the movie, they end up in our universe. And this time, it's ridiculous in that aspect, but it kind of makes sense to where you need them in this universe. They could end up doing something similar with X-Men. The problem is you can't do that, because then you got to say, well, how did all the other mutants get on here? And they already mentioned mutants with Miss Marvel and certain people with Namor. So we'll get that. We'll see that. But it's a good thing that they're going back.
It's a good thing for the fans more though, just because again, they always bring stars.
Yeah,
you're gonna some people are there gonna see their favorite stars, and just the fact that you can see some of the Marvel executives see the customs that are there from the fans.
Yeah,
the people who put in the work, the people who can't afford to put in the work but still try their best.
Yeah,
and the people who just want to go to go.
I know I've been dying to go, but I'm not dying to go to San Diego. I'd rather go to New York or maybe.
What?
Yeah, I'd rather go to New York one. I'm not that. I'm not that big anymore on that. Like early 2012 to 2016, I was like, oh, I need to get to Comic-Con, but then I was like, oh, those tickets and those hotel prices, like no. But
the tickets aren't that bad. It's just the resale tickets.
They are resale, but it's not those are fine. The hotels, you have to buy a hotel in the next county just to go, but you
could also plan ahead. Like if you were to plan a year ahead, maybe even 4 months.
Everybody has done that. You got to plan 2 years ahead for the next year, and which is ridiculous in itself.
Nah, but when I went to Miami for Ultra, it wasn't that bad.
Well, see, Ultra's not. I'm not calling Ultra as big, but see, the difference is with Ultra and with a lot of other cons in different areas.
Ultra's a music festival.
I know, but you know what I mean. It's more or less like is contained in that universe. Comic Con used to be contained in the comic book universe. Yeah, back then you would get your certain celebrities, but because now it's so commercialized, San Diego Comic Con is like it.
I mean, yeah, okay.
So it's like it doesn't matter what is like if it's there, it's going to be.
So wait, if you're saying it's it, then you should at least want to go to the one that's it.
I know, but I'm over it because now it's not a fad anymore. It's like Coachella now, which is bad. You just go there because it's there. You're not there to experience. Like I would go not only just to see the movies, but to get comics and get posters and stuff like that. Talk to artists from TVs and everything, more or less. But hopefully we'll get some news from Marvel at Hall H. Definitely,
especially X-Men. I'd like to see my boy Nightcrawler Gambit back.
We'll see. But also, who else is going to be there, but not at Hall H, will be DC. Mm-hmm. And we just got word on the Green Lanterns TV series. It's going to be called Lanterns. It's going to be on HBO. 8 episodes. Don't know the length. Hopefully it's an hour. We're not doing Acolyte.
Probably 40.
Yeah, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I don't think we're going to get the whole 30 minutes thing with them. Usually HBO says...
Unless they do like House of Dragons length.
Well, the House of Dragons season 2, it's been either hour and 7, a full hour, or 58 minutes. They do it right. That's why I'm more or less confident that Lanterns are
I watched 2 episodes of House of Dragons. Yeah. I was waiting for 2 to be out before I watch.
Yeah, me and Courtney are going to binge watch.
I think it's crazy to binge watch
the next 2. We watched the first 2.
Okay.
But then we got holed up because we went on vacation for a little bit. And then we started watching reality love shows on Netflix. Please stay away from those. So now we're going back on to our House of Dragon. But no, with, Comic-Con is always good for surprises and has been greenlit. The questions now remain, and a lot of people kind of feel like it's already been cast. Who are the 2 Lanterns? Obviously, we got Guy Gardner with Nathan Fillion in the new Superman movie. That's guaranteed. But we're going to get 2 more Lanterns in this. Obviously, it has to be the 2 main of Hal Jordan and John Stewart.
I think it's... Who do you think makes it good? John Stewart, though.
A John Stewart, depending on... He's going to be younger than Hal, so he has to be maybe 30s or early 40s.
In my opinion, the perfect... Maybe not the perfect, but like someone who could really hit that role would be Idris Elba.
Idris Elba is the dream pick.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. That's the dream pick.
But honestly, you're he's 40-ish. It would be a dream come true, but probably not. It would probably be
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan could be it. Don't sleep on the Michael B. Jordan thing. It could be it. But it could be Denzel Washington's son. It could be Idris Elba's son, but he's a little too young. Yeah, there's a bunch of other guys that you could possibly go out. Because you can get the guy. His name is slipping me. He just played Hawkman in the horrible Black Adam movie.
Didn't watch that one.
Unfortunately, I had to. Because it was like everybody was saying like, oh my god, it's different. It's The Rock. Rock doesn't put out bad action movies, and I'm like, that was one of those. That was one of those.
Did not watch it.
Just one of those bad movies. So it's more or less.
It's hard to watch, like, in my opinion, wrestlers in movies.
Yeah.
Just because. For the longest time, as much as they've been acting on The Rock,
Yeah.
So he knows how The Rock's supposed to be. So now moving on to a role that isn't supposed to be The Rock, when you see it, you just think, that's still Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard for wrestlers. I think the few people who could do it right were, one, in my opinion, so far, Batista's the only one, but I think it's because of the makeup.
Well, I think Batista is a far better actor.
Well, yeah, but I think the makeup also helps from distinguish, like, oh, that's not Batista, that's,
Well, I've seen Knock on the Door. Fantastic.
I haven't seen it.
You gotta watch it. It's a scary thriller.
Never mind. Won't watch it.
Well, it's not scary like that. It's more or less thriller. It's more psychological thrillers. M. Night Shyamalan.
All right, I'll watch it.
it's gruesome in certain aspects, but he kills it. And there's other moves that he has done. But here's some of the top choices.
Watching what The Rock play like Black Adam reminded me of Vin Diesel doing the pacifier.
Yes,
That's what it reminds me
because
of.
it was just like he was trying so hard. I'm like, yo, you don't have to try that hard, and it's crazy. But the guy that played Hawkman in Black Adam was Adiz Hodge. He's been in countless numerous stuff. He's worked with on True Detective, which is one of the showrunners. He could be there. I don't see it, maybe, but here's some of the other top choices. John Boyega. You know, he could get a chance.
He looks a bit too young, though.
He could be a little bit, but you could do.
If you were to do a flashback and he's part of a flashback, and then you were to make a spin-off with a younger Jordan Hell and he was there, okay, I could see that.
All right, well, let me set the key synopsis so far. We don't know none of the key stories, but this is the premise of the show. Basically, it's two cops, which is the Green Lanterns. One older, one just getting started, which is obviously Hal Jordan, the vet, John Stewart. He's showing them the ropes. And there's a mystery going on because something is going on. We'll pretty much kind of figure out the mystery or get a hint of the mystery in the Superman movie. But those guys, Hal and Stewart, go around and they got to figure it out. So basically, Hal's the vet, Stewart's a young guy. So he would be in that range of like an early 30s, maybe early 30s to late 30s. So John Boyega,
I hope he gets a good role after that Star Wars stuff.
A lot of people
should have been a
say
Jedi.
Common? Yeah, I don't see it. He's a little too old.
Yeah.
Sterling K. Brown. They're saying Isaiah Washington. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't.
What about for the other role?
For Hal Jordan, right now, a name that's been tossed around, which I don't kind of see, but there's
Ryan Reynolds.
No, close. John Krasinski.
I think him as Mr. Fantastic was way better.
It was.
I think that fits.
But this could possibly be the role for him because it's not superhero-ish. It's more or less it's a detective role with hero aspects of it. It could work. I don't see it.
He's a great actor in my opinion. I like him on a lot of stuff.
I don't see it.
Especially after him creating what's it called?
A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
And if it shows his range. Sleeper pick, we'll see what happens. Hayden Christensen, I don't know if his acting chops is that good. Obviously.
I would say so. I mean, I'm biased also, one of my favorite.
Yeah, I know.
The Chosen One.
But we'll see. A name that's been tossed around as well. Chris Pratt.
You think like jokingly they might have texted Ryan Reynolds? Like, yo.
I'm pretty sure.
They just joking around. Like, yo, you want to be part of the Lanterns? How would you feel if you see like a cameo from him? Nothing to do with like the Lanterns, but it's just him. And then he just randomly goes like, "This seems familiar."
That would actually be hilarious.
I think that would be pretty funny.
That would be hilarious. But some of the other choices that could be it for Hal Jordan, Bradley Cooper, John Krasinski, I already said. Chris Pine, we could see him come back. Jensen Ackles, Ryan Reynolds, and Glenn Powell. I would side more on maybe more of an unknown because we don't really know.
I guess it depends on the budget too.
Well, yeah. Also depending on the budget.
If it's a TV show, the budget's definitely a lot less than a movie would be.
Well, you know who else what they've said. Jonathan Majors. This could be a good comeback role for him if depending on certain situations.
It's a hard one though.
It is, but we'll see what happens.
The other issue with Lanterns though was like, due to the last movie, it left a sour taste in most people's mouth.
Yeah.
So coming into this, unfortunately for the actor, you have to be on your A game from start to finish, because if not, no one's gonna like look at it. Everyone's gonna look at it like The Acolyte again.
We're not going to attention to that. It's just the acolyte is so crazy.
I'm not
But it's a
watching
great thing.
Acolyte.
So hopefully we might get some casting news on
Hopefully,
Comic
yeah.
Con. End of the month, we'll see what happens. Guys, give us your picks in the comments below. You know,
Ryan
tell
Reynolds.
us who could it be? We'll the closer we get to Comic Con, we'll see.
The Marvel now.
I think they probably pretty much already casted the guys because I think
They have to.
because if you're gonna pitch a show like this, right, for this universe, you have to have at least one of the actors picked.
Especially if they already greenlit it.
Yeah.
Once you greenlit, you gotta have
And
the
it's
two
greenlit.
names.
So
Yeah.
basically,
You gotta have the two names.
you gotta have
on
at
the
least
table.
one because you gotta sell it to the
I
producers.
think you need both. I think they need both. Names.
One in the possible. You gotta say, all right, look, I'm just throwing names out there. Nothing is. This is just BS. I have Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is attached. He said he's gonna do it, and you're like, all right, well, who else? I got John Smith. Okay, we'll see. I like Tom Cruise, but yeah, okay, greenlight. Go ahead. You're good to go.
I don't think they would have greenlit it, though.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, all right, we'll see. But I feel like if you came and you were like, yo, we got Idris Elba and John Krasinski right here.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all right.
Okay. Shoot.
Greenlit right off the
But
bat.
I could see something like
I
that.
mean, yeah, it depends. It's hard to speculate right now when Comic-Con is so close.
It is.
So
So
far.
close, but so far away.
Yeah.
And but also, Deadpool. It's going to be a busy weekend for
We
that.
would not be able to see Deadpool, though. Since,
Why?
Aren't we waiting?
Why are we waiting?
I thought you couldn't buy tickets, you said.
Well, it's going to be. I might wait until next week to buy the tickets because I've
I
looked at.
figure we would all be going like in the always.
Probably more than likely. I gotta give me next week because most of the tickets right now they're not
Impossible to find.
impossible to find.
We
It's
might
just-
as well just start. You might just make us all sit in different
it's
places.
it's looking that way. But anyway, speaking of superheroes and speaking of almost finished shooting, we probably might even get a sneak peek at Comic-Con at some Superman stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe like a footage, maybe a quick, like almost what they did with the Batman when he walked up, when you fully saw Robert Pattinson in the suit walking up, full gear.
What expectations do you have for the new Superman?
I'm actually kind of.
Are you looking at like the Batman expectations, or
No.
are you going lower, higher?
It's pretty even too. It's pretty much the same thing with the Batman until the first trailer came out, and you won't really know until you get that first trailer. That's why I said we're probably going to get maybe like a 30-second, maybe a 40-second little thing, maybe of him flying or jumping or something like that. But some new set pieces are coming out. We'll want to put them on the screen. Manny hasn't really fully looked at them, and just give us some of your thoughts. We got Superman and Lois.
Who did they pick as Lewis?
That's Lois.
I said, who did they pick? What's her name?
Oh.
I can't remember.
She's from The Marvelous. I can't even think of it.
I really couldn't think of her name.
It's so crazy because it's on the tip of my tongue. Rachel Brosnahan.
Yeah, okay, that's
All
what I
right.
was saying.
So we got David Corn Sweat with Lois Lane.
I definitely like how the suit looks out in public. It's
It
a
does.
lot
It
lighter.
looks better than what that original picture that we had. Then we got.
Just so you remember, guys, he hates the red trunks.
I despise the.
So
red
we'll
trunks
see how
because
that
it
looks.
doesn't make sense. I hope and pray they put a funny joke in there to make fun of it, so it'll be like ha ha, it's so funny. I know a lot of purists love the red trunks. I don't get it. Tell me the function of the red trunks, and you'll be like, well, it's his style. No, it's not. It's a wrestler style. He's not a wrestler. We got Perry White, guy from The Wire. I can't really think of his name right now. I know his name is
Wasn't he also
Wendell.
in Suits?
He was in Suits as well. Superman and Mr. Terrific. He looks great so far.
I would say he definitely doesn't look as bulky as like a Superman would. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like buffness.
In terms of
Like in that picture, he looks super buff. In this though,
he's not Henry Cavill where he's like muscular. He looks like a straight, but he is buff, which is crazy. But this picture right here with Clark Kent and Superman, you cannot. Now, granted, I know it's been a lot of fun. Like, how can you tell? You can't tell the difference between. In this picture, you'd be like, those two are two different completely people.
it's probably just like the curly hair
Yeah.
and like how it's
Like he looks like like that dork And then you look at him like, oh, that's Superman. Like, they're not the same people. They could probably be cousins, but not the same person. You know? And then we got this picture. We don't know what's going on, but Superman
Is
is
that
basically in jail.
Noir? Like Noir?
Almost. There's been rumors that this is Ultraman, a type of version of Ultraman.
Oh, is it?
Like, but basically, not Ultraman. He'll be called Ultraman, but basically,
Like how they did, what's his name? In the Teen Titans show.
yes,
What's the Slade.
Slade, almost. But this
it was
won't be.
Deathstroke, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't Slade.
He's basically. This will probably be a variant of Bizarro. He'll probably turn into Bizarro. That's some of the rumors.
Probably near the end. That's where he'll probably become.
And we'll see what happens with that. So it looks good so far, and they're still shooting. They're supposedly going to be finished shooting by early August. So basically, that's why I say by Comic-Con we might get a quick video of something that
probably the trailer could drop by then. That's probably the trailer time. You got to think about it like this: DC, you've been at Comic-Con for a while.
Yeah.
You know Marvel hasn't been there. You heard, Marvel's coming back. So now as DC, you got to go like, oh, well, we can't really just BS it like we did the last couple of years. Now that they're here, they're probably in a, because you got to think about it. You're DC, you're DC executive right now, and you're here. Hey, just so you know, Marvel is coming to San Diego this year,
and they're going to they're getting Hall H.
So the first thing you're going to think is they're going to come in with something really breathtaking away that's going to capture all the fans again. So now, as the DC, you're like, all right, now we got to do something. The best thing you do is probably start dropping the trailers just to get people more hype and be like, this time around we really are listening to you guys. It's not going to be a dark show.
I love your thinking, but sadly, they've already said they're not doing Hall H this year.
No, that's what I'm saying though. But having your own hall, you'll have to.
Oh, you think maybe in the smaller halls they might drop something? I think at best we'll get more.
They have to. I think they have to, only because hearing Marvel coming back.
Yeah.
You gotta bring something, even if it's not your game changer. You need to bring something that's gonna
Well, you gotta remember, DC for the last,
but that's
4 years.
That's my point. Though.
Shitty.
My point is, for the last couple of years, since Marvel hasn't been there, they've had no reason to be as good as they used to be. Now that Marvel is coming back with Hall H, the legacy returned. As DC, you got two choices. You either continue being shitty, and this would probably hurt you more because Marvel's going to drop this amazing trailer that we don't know what's about to be. Or you go like, hey, even if they're not going to drop this amazing trailer, here's something to get you guys happy enough to be like, all right, there's competition again.
Yeah, even though there isn't at the point. I think at best, what they'll drop, I think they'll drop three things. I think they'll drop the Green Lantern casting news, because I think they'll shoot that sooner rather than later. They'll drop some more casting news for Supergirl, because I think that's about to shoot.
I think they'll probably drop the Batman 2 trailer.
No, they haven't started shooting that either yet. That's a totally different thing. You might get some news for that.
Maybe at least a news.
You'll probably get some news for that, but they say casting won't start really until September or October. But you could get something.
Unless that's all they're saying, though.
Also, you could
They could be big brain moving it right now.
They could announce maybe a new. I know Andy Muschietti, the guy that directed It, the new It, and as well as The Flash that flopped, is tagged to do the new Batman. Not the Batman, but Batman Braving the Bold for the DCU universe.
Yeah.
He's tagged to do that. Maybe they might go a different route and say something else. But those three things, maybe I think.
The Phoenix, the Joker #2.
You might get the trailer for Joker too,
because that
comes out in October. The first trailer dropped, so you might get a second trailer for the Joker.
Probably get the second trailer. Yeah.
But no, I think you'll get the casting news for Green Lantern, some casting news for Supergirl. Maybe a clip of Superman, and maybe another.
I think we just got to be ready for them to probably just be holding that ace in their sleeve right now too, since Marvel is, because probably the Marvel convention might be first before DC's. I think,
of course.
So in my opinion, I think DC's gonna have something up their sleeve, and they're gonna wait to see what Marvel does first.
Possibly, I think what you're talking about is probably the Superman clip. Possibly, it's probably only gonna probably be 40 to 50 seconds. It's not going to be nothing crazy.
But I mean, that's all what it is now.
Unless something, I don't think they have anything fully finished edited yet. So maybe we'll see. Guys, your thoughts on on the
What
Superman.
would you want to see? What
What
superheroes?
do you want to see? Hawk Girl is supposedly, as we speak, is down there right now filming some scenes. Maybe a Brainiac. Maybe we don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But also, they also dropped an image, and I forgot to bring this up to you. 2 new images, a trailer and a new image. One trailer that we're gonna quickly touch on, but I'm gonna show y'all and Manny as well. But first, before we do that, I'm gonna show Manny another image. Well, not show Manny another image. They show some images of the new Gladiator with Denzel Washington. He looks great. They haven't dropped the trailer. I'm pretty sure they'll probably drop the trailer around Comic-Con because that's
Wait, are you talking about like the show Gladiators?
No, the movie.
The movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
the movie Gladiator.
You know, there's this other show Gladiators
Yes.
coming out.
But also, they dropped this, the new Hellboy trailer, and it looks horrible. When I say it looked like something, you and I could have made, that's how bad it looked.
We're never gonna get a better movie than the
Than the
original
first
ones,
two, right?
Yeah.
And everybody since the trailer, and let me say this: the guy that's playing Hellboy, I don't know who he is. He's kind of an unknown, but he's not really unknown. David Harbour that played Hellboy in the last bad Hellboy movie looked 10 times better than what this guy looks. He doesn't. It looks plastic. It looks fake. It doesn't look 100%. The movie is basically trying to take itself too serious while also not staying to the complete lore of Hellboy. Hellboy is supposed to be this freaky, religious sci-fi, and they take this version of Hellboy and go deep into the horror, and it's like, that's not really him.
I guess it's hard for people to understand that Hellboy isn't a horror show it's meant to be.
No, it's supposed to be.
Because, yeah, they go to hell and there's all these demons and creatures that you won't see that are scary. But, like, the movie isn't about the horrors and creatures of hell.
It's basically about a guy who's a hero who's trying not to get into that side, but does good in his own fashion. He's almost like, what's his name? Lobo. He's almost like a Lobo. And it's like, and he's awesome in that. Ron Perlman and Guillermo del Toro killed it with those first 2 movies. It's a travesty that they never finished that trilogy. And I think 9 times out of 10, people aren't flocking to this because they want that trilogy to finish, and they might as well just say, I'm going to take the $100 or $500 million, Guillermo, and finish the trilogy, and we'll see how much money we make. And just call it that.
But you can't force them.
No, but it's horrible. But speaking of
horrible,
no, not horrible.
NBA draft.
We're not. Well, before we get into that,
NFL.
No, before we get into that, we're going to go to the demon side of it. The Y6 just debuted. I know we haven't had a quick thought on it. Give me your thoughts.
Sure I swear we did.
We might have.
I think we talked about how we felt with all of them coming out.
Well, it might have, but they've been putting out some stuff with.
I will say this: that Bo Dallas line.
Yeah, his Bo Dallas.
When Uncle Howie said, how did you feel when your brother died? I was like, oh shit, they can say that?
Yeah.
I thought they wouldn't say something like that. I thought that was crazy.
It's different.
I also did. I'm like, it's gonna sound wrong of how I'm wording it, but I don't mean it wrong. When he said like nobody besides him feels the pain, I was like, I get what he's saying, but like his wife.
Well, we got to remember she's not a part of the company, so that's why he said that they had to keep it whole like that. But I think that was maybe, and we're not going to touch on this too much, but I think
we
maybe,
had my brother here. He's a big.
Yeah, I think that was a hint maybe at Alexa Bliss, possibly, because look, the promos that they've been putting out the last couple of weeks have been fantastic. But besides the Wyatts 6, what other storyline that's been going on that has been capturing me? Mine, and this is just a personal favorite, it's been Liv and Dom, because when Rhea Ripley decides to come back, which will probably be sometime between SummerSlam and Money in the Bank.
I think maybe Royal Rumble. She'll come in as 30 or something.
No, it has to be SummerSlam because that's the big WrestleMania summer. So she'll be back by SummerSlam, I think. We'll see.
It depends because she did just get married.
Yeah, she did just get married.
It depends on how long, like
how she wants to do it, how long she. That's why I said SummerSlam is perfect.
That's why I think it's Royal Rumble. I think Roman might come back during the Royal Rumble too.
I think that makes more
sense. I think
sense,
30. I think they would both come back. Like you would if it happens that the Royal Rumble will be 2 nights eventually. Not yet.
I think this year they're doing 2 nights.
Are they? I know. I don't think they said Royal Rumble yet. I know they only said SummerSlam, right?
That's next year for SummerSlam. That's why I said this. They'll probably do the 2 nights for Royal Rumble. So you'll possibly see night 1, whether it's the men or the women, and then night 2, whatever happens, and you'll see those 2 big things, and that's it. But that's the Dom Liv Morgan storyline has been fantastic.
The Bloodline
storyline has been fantastic. Even some of the storylines in NXT have been fantastic. I am sorry. Hold on 1 second, guys. We've had a little interruption.
You have a guess?
My wife is. What's going on?
You want a hot dog or?
I want a burger.
No, I'm okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's just 4 of us.
You started cooking already?
Making smash burgers.
Burger.
I'm keeping this in, just letting you know. No, I want a burger.
2 burgers.
Yeah.
Gracias.
I'm keeping this in. She doesn't know that.
I can.
Burger. She's getting our order.
Mike's a really good cook, guys. For those who don't know, Mike is
my father-in-law.
Yeah.
Now I'm
great golfer, ex-football player, legendary. That's the Patriots.
Who?
Mike.
Whatever.
He taught Tom Brady all he knows.
Sure. Anyway.
No, the Bloodline. That's so. After what they did to Paul Heyman, that was a great movie.
It was great because now, if it is the Royal Rumble, because I know Roman's probably going to take another while because his father just passed away.
I really thought he was going to be there on
Paul
Friday.
Heyman comes out now and said, and not only, but see, and this is why I say,
you know what I also love that Paul Heyman did?
What?
Like he purposely hasn't shaved or anything.
No, because
like it's showing that he's stressed out. Yeah,
but he did that before. Before when it was just The Rock and Roman hasn't came back yet.
Yeah, but like I feel like this time he's more freedom. You know, like if you saw his eyes, like he was full in.
Yeah, he's in it. But he also needed a vacation. I don't think Roman comes back yet until they attack Jay.
Probably until Jimmy's ready to return.
Well, no, because you got to remember, you got to take out Jay. Because now, not only do you bring back Roman and Jimmy.
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna wait till Jimmy has the green light before they do anything to Jay and all of them.
And they got to bring, whether it's Sammy or if it's their other little brother, which is he's far from ready, but maybe it's a cousin, the Solo and Jimmy and Jay Uso's little brother. Yeah, but you forgot. Yeah, no, Jacob's the cousin.
Fatu?
Jacob Fatu is the cousin.
What about?
They have a little brother. There's another Rikishi. I don't know. He's too young.
Because they debuted a bunch of them already. They have 3 of them up there right now.
Yeah, that's family. Solo,
Fatu,
Jacob, Tonga, and them. They're like distant cousins. They're not cousins. But yeah, but no, there's another little brother.
I can't remember. That's a big family.
Yeah, well, that's why when they asked Jimmy, they was like, "Can you break down the family tree?" It was like, "Do you have 17 hours?" Like, but no, there's another little brother, whether it's them or a cousin, which I don't know who else they could possibly bring.
I think it's gonna be the new Bloodline with maybe The Rock, depending on how many people they want to do.
That's 5.
And then I think it's going to be Roman, Jimmy J,
Sammy.
I think that's where you're wrong. And if this is Bloodline, I think it only makes sense that he would. Now, this is a dream scenario. So, if he's fighting Bloodline against Bloodline,
you got 5 against 30. So.
There's only 2 other people he's ever called brother.
Who?
Seth Rollins.
Oh, here we go.
And Dean Ambrose. Think about it. No, think about it. If we're talking about purely family on family, bloodline versus bloodline. You got to take the two people who were closest to Roman. Sammy doesn't make sense because he was more with Jay and them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Roman.
Mm-hmm.
You could bring in Cody, like, blah, blah, blah. I want to finish the full bloodline. It's finally over.
Mm-hmm.
You could bring that. I think Seth makes the most sense because this would be Roman putting his pride aside and finally
Turning
And
babyface.
well, not the babyface part, but that too. But I think it's also going to be on the fact that Roman has to put his pride apart and finally end the hatred between him and Seth. Closing that chapter, that's why the bloodline, like his brother, would be back.
Mm-hmm.
Dean Ambrose, let's say he doesn't resign, especially lately with all his matches always in blood, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he doesn't resign with AEW and he does come back in a year or two where we all expect the bloodline to really start. Like the bloodline versus bloodline, I believe it'll start in 2 years.
Okay.
The person that makes the most sense would be Dean Ambrose. You got the two brothers who were with Jimmy with Roman from the start.
Basically, both of his groups
Exactly.
versus The Rock's Hit Squad.
Exactly. Only because to me, Sammy just doesn't make as much sense because I think with his current storyline,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta let him ride because for a while, Sammy was bottom tier nothing.
Okay.
This is finally his push, his moment.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta let it ride out, see what happens.
Is that
Don't
gonna
bring
be-
him into the bloodline stuff because he doesn't need the bloodline right
Okay.
now. Cody, yeah, you can bring him in. He makes
No,
sense.
No.
He's one of the people that makes sense if it needed to come down
I'm
to it.
done. I'm done with. The
And then
Cody
Seth.
Bullet.
Seth, again, with the bloodline. And then, again, how he came out to the Shield. All of that stuff, trick games, mind games with Roman, they'll finally put it to an end.
I can see the logic with both with all four of those guys, basically Usos and the Shield.
I think it would just make sense that if he's fighting his family, he would fight them with his family.
his so-called family in W. Well, we'll
So
see.
that's why I think Dean Ambrose could leave AEW with no issue in probably a year or two. Now, probably not. In a year's time worth, though, depending on how the company is doing. Because let's be honest, AEW's pay-per-views, top-notch, top tier. Can't deny it. Their TV shows, though, are not the same.
Subjective with the pay-per-views, but we'll see.
I mean, their last pay-per-view, you didn't see it, did you?
No, because
A lot of the matches were great. A lot of them.
we'll see. Again,
To me, it would just make sense. And then, obviously, I want Dom to kill it. I want Dom. No, not like that.
oh,
The teams that drafted, most of them are also on the part of like, can we rebuild what Wamby's doing, but just add more pieces to it?
100%. But it's more or less like this. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the summer league.
Yeah, I think I will say this. I do believe that Bronny's going to touch the court before most of the drafted people anyway.
I have mixed emotions.
The only people who, in my opinion, are going to be like guaranteed to start are probably going to be like the top 20 picks.
possibly.
And maybe only like 13 of them are starters.
Out of the top, well, again,
Like I said, it's
the top 3 should be starters. The top 10
like
should be
what's
starters.
for the Sixers, McCain, right?
Jared McCain,
It's
could
hard to
be a
know if he's
start.
going to start because like where would you put him in the lineup with?
He's not starting though,
That's what I mean.
unless
like,
he kills it in the summer
over who
league.
though?
I mean, you could do like the way the league is going with the small guards. A lot of teams are doing it. Hasn't had that much success,
I mean, yeah.
but they are doing it.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, definitely, I think out of the top 15 or the top 20, not most of them are going to be starters on their team, except for definitely the top 5 will be most likely in their team starting position just because top 5 pick. You can't not start it now.
100%. But again, we'll see. But
Again,
the big-
Bronny will touch the court with his dad,
Well, that's his
whether
dad.
it's in the first week, first month, or 2 months.
No, he's probably going to be the first week. Probably be the first day
Most likely
because
first.
that's box office, and I think
Yeah.
they're playing. They'll probably end up playing. The schedule isn't out, but they'll probably end up playing
The
Denver
Nuggets?
again. Yeah,
First game.
for the first game, which
I
will
don't
be
think so. I think you got to bring in. I think it depends on what the Lakers are bringing in. Like Clay said no to them.
Well, this is why we're going to transition more onto the big off-season moves so far. The first day of free agency just passed. Clay's going to Dallas.
That made me sad.
Um,
I want to Clay. To the
Paul
Sixers.
George to the Sixers.
That's crazy. Crazy amount of money too.
Tobias
312?
to Detroit. KCP to Orlando.
I think Tobias Harris is gonna have a great year this year.
Well, he's won Detroit. There's only nowhere to go but up. So
Well, it's not even that. I think it's only purely based on the fact that he's not gonna have the pressure he had here. The fans are gonna be against him so much, so I think he'll ball out. Not to the point where like, wow, like we miss him, we need him back. More of the you couldn't do this in the playoffs.
it's just more or less. If I'm paying you $35,
Also,
to $38
I think
million,
it's a contract year for him,
no, he's getting 2 years, $50 million.
and if he wants to be extended,
He's on that tail line. All right, this is his
so is
last.
Paul George, and yet we paid him how much?
I don't agree with the Paul George pick.
I don't agree.
I think it was the best available, and hopefully it works out. But I mean, who else were you going to go get?
LeBron.
LeBron was not coming back to the East Coast. Anybody that thought LeBron was coming back to the East Coast is smoking.
Clay.
Pretty much, Clay was a possibility,
I would have liked Clay.
but I
think the shooting.
don't think Clay would have came here if he didn't get the offer from Dallas. Now, granted, they're doing a sign and trade because they're also sending a player back to Golden State and some picks, but also,
Are they?
yeah.
Was it? I wasn't
So,
sure.
because I think he's getting 3 years, $50 to $60 million.
Is it
So it's
three?
not
Yeah,
bad.
I think it's 3.
Um,
Apparently, other teams were offering him more money and more years, but he said no.
well, because it's like he's a shooter, and at this point, he's almost like JJ Redick's standpoint of put him in the corner and shoot, and he's going to thrive in Dallas.
You gotta kind of you feel bad for Steph though.
No,
You
I
really-
don't.
I do.
I feel bad for Draymond because Draymond set this whole thing up to where you've now broken the team. And I'm going to break it down for people that feels like, what the hell am I talking about? You won 2 championships prior to K-Day. Or you've been in 2 championships, won one
I think
before.
so. Yeah, you won one.
They won one and they went to another one. And
They went to 2 back.
yeah, and they lost that one because it was some controversy with Draymond again. But basically, you won a championship and you lost the championship. KD comes and you won 2 back-to-back. You get pissed off.
It was for KD it was
Yeah,
2
2
back to back.
back-to-back.
For Steph and them it was 3.
Yeah, 3. But I'm saying Draymond gets pissed off because now, instead of it being those guys that were brought up and groomed and grew with Golden State, KD's taking a shine. So KD leaves. You win another one. Right? You win another one without KD, which is fine. But now,
But what a run on that last.
that last one was great. And I think that was the last hurrah.
Honestly,
But
I just don't think Steph gets that credit as
but-
much as
no, he doesn't.
Steph won how many trophies in the LeBron era?
He's won 4, which is crazy.
Wow, isn't it?
No,
Yeah,
4. He's
yeah,
won
it's
4. But he also gets in a scuffle with Jordan Poole. Granted, Jordan Poole was asking for it, but they sent Jordan Poole away, which was kind of the future. Granted, it might not have been a great future, but he was a future, and you sent future assets along with him. And now, instead of paying Clay, they paid you, and now Clay's gone. And all it is now is you and Steph, which then leaves the question of Golden State.
What are you gonna do?
What are you to do after this year? After this year,
If you're Golden State, then Steph Curry comes up to you and says, "Hey, I want to get traded to a competing team.
Mhm.
Do you trade him? Going like, what you've done for us? Yeah,
After this year,
this year,
before the
This year.
season starts,
Before the season starts,
I can't.
in the next 4 days, he goes up and tells you, "Hey, he wants to leave just because he." Let's say he tells you, "Hey, I don't know if I can have this. It's either this year or next year might be my last."
Yeah.
Do you tell him like, "All right, after everything you've done for us, we'll find a way to get you to what the team you want to get." Obviously, he's not gonna get to know Nuggets team, like
No,
Boston them, but like,
say Miami or Philly,
You wanna say-
something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
guess Bam and
Yeah,
stuff would be a
or
better
the Clippers, or even the Lakers.
Clippers. I don't know.
I'm
Lakers. I can't see Lakers only if Clay said no.
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing teams out there because
Yeah.
at the same time, I can't say yes to trading you this year until I see what I have. Once I see what I have, then I'll determine if I'm a smart GM.
I just feel like they had nothing though. That's the issue.
But we see that, and granted, they were in that running from that 7th seed to the 11th seed, so they're there.
But was it the team or was it the coaching? What he could do with
It could be, but again,
I think you got to get. That's where I think Steph Curry showed that he's a really good coach, and he took a team with very little and a lot of injuries that far.
which is why I say Draymond is the reason why this team sunk faster than what it should have.
I also give Draymond his flowers, though. He
a
was
fantastic
pinnacle in those 4 trophies that they needed.
He's a fantastic ball player. Nothing against his skill on the court. It's his skill in between his mind and when
That's why I think they
actions
added
are-
him to be the show.
Yeah.
He's really good at just routing anybody up.
Oh, he in terms of basketball, he's intelligent. He's a brilliant mind.
Yeah.
But his ego, and he'll say, "I don't have an ego." It's just certain situations. But at the same time, you didn't put your ego in check to say, "Enough, yo, we have this great nucleus of team, and let us rock out," because you had a KD, you had a Jordan Poole, you had all these guys, and you could have stayed together for at least another 4 to 5 years. But no, you said, "Fuck you. We didn't need you. We don't need you, and we don't need you. I can rock out with Steph, and we can win games."
Do you see a big move coming from Phoenix? And either trading somebody away or bringing something in?
Maybe closer to the start of the season, because then it will be calmed down. Injuries
How
will
do you feel
happen.
about Chris Paul though?
To San Antonio, that's a player coach move, because I know a lot of people say, well, he has nothing to give the castle, but at the same time,
I think what they're bringing in is someone that's going to give the ball to Victor,
But-
because the team won't.
he'll take what Pop gives him, give him the ball, while also teaching Victor and Castle the game of basketball. He's a player coach, and that's all he is.
You know what
It's
I
a
didn't
great
like
move.
though? Just lost my thought. Never mind.
Yeah. But I mean, Orlando, they picked up KCP. That was a great move. Miami is not really doing anything.
Deontay Murray re-signing, not
Deontay
leaving.
Murray is staying.
I thought
in
he was
Atlanta.
leaving.
But
No, not him.
who?
From the Cavs.
Oh, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan
I don't know why I said
Mitchell.
Murray. I was thinking Murray,
Yeah.
because I think I was looking at a picture of him earlier.
Yeah,
Because I was seeing the Trey thing
yeah.
when he found out. He called him right away.
I think Trey. But to touch on the DeAndre Murray thing, don't be shocked if you don't see
Trey there.
Trey there as well. That could be a move as well.
I wouldn't be surprised. I could see him being moved. I think they realize that the experiment isn't working out like they wanted to right now. They're probably kicking themselves knowing that they really had Luka right there, and they were like, "Yeah, we really want to try."
It is what it is. I mean, a lot of people kick themselves when they could have had Jordan and all this other stuff. But
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where like you can't. It's like when people said like the whole Ben Simmons thing. Like
we're not going to talk about that.
at the time though, who was gonna pick? Who thought Ben Simmons was gonna be this much?
Well,
of a
no,
bitch?
it's I don't even think Ben's game, and just to touch on it real quick, Ben's game isn't suffered. His confidence suffered. I think whatever happened to him, and he hasn't gotten back to it since. So he's.
Did you see his rating on 2K?
I don't. It's
66.
66, and it should have been lower. Shaq said, but again, he has skills that makes him an all-star. He's been an all-star. He's been a defensive player of the year candidate. So he has skills. It's
You
not
think
the
he's
skills.
sick right now, just being on the bench and watching him?
No, I think he's happy collecting his money that he still
Oh
has.
no, not. I don't mean it in terms of like. I'm talking in terms of his legacy right now. Him sitting and watching what Embiid and them are doing,
No, because if he was
or
more,
Tyree,
if
watching
he
what
was-
Maxey.
if he was focused on
I would want to touch up
basketball,
though. We signed Maxey again. Phenomenal.
Maxey was $205 million.
I would have paid him more to make sure he
Um,
stayed for 10 years.
No, because you can't go over past 6 years. 5
I know,
years is
but-
max.
Different like sports have different lengths.
Yeah.
Soccer, you can do a bunch. NFL, you can do up to 10,
You
right?
can do almost 10. You can do
You
almost
can
10.
do 10 because Patrick signed for 10.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But
It was
that's
10 years, 500 million or 100
$500
million?
million.
Yeah.
$501 million. But that's a
Which is
rare,
crazy now because you got to realize
that's a
damn.
rare case that you can ever get that.
Well, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a rare case.
Is he though? But we're not going to touch that. But since you touched on that,
But real quick, Mitchell not leaving.
$105 million 3 years. That was the best offer he was going to get on the market.
But like, all right, if it's you though,
Mm.
are you looking at the market and you trying to get the contract, or are you trying to win?
With basketball players, I don't know.
But I'm talking about you.
Me personally, I'm going to the best place where I can win.
So you'll take, let's say they offered you 40 million 2 years,
I'm taking it.
or you take the
That's 100 million
103
a year.
2 years.
Give me if Boston, well, not Boston. Let's just say that team that is really great, that hasn't won, and is missing a piece, and they offer me 2 years, $40 million. I'm taking that over that team that is really good also, but they've offered me $300 million.
Now I want to give credit to Dallas for making it all the way. Do you think it would have been a different story if it was Denver?
Maybe it'll be more competitive. I think Denver again. It's hard to in this NBA to repeat, and we've seen that countless times
3
in the
times.
last 5 years, 6 years. No team has really repeat since Denver. I mean, not Denver, since
Golden State.
Golden State with the monster squad. This is again, I'm going back on the Draymond. You caused that, but again, it's hard to repeat, and I don't expect Boston to repeat. I didn't expect Denver to really repeat. They looked like they were going to repeat, but they tailed off towards the end. Just real quick, we were going to touch on football, but it looks like
We're
checking
on
on
a
the
little bit
time.
of
We
time.
went over a little bit,
Yeah.
not too much, but a little bit.
We'll have next year though.
Next show, we're going to go to the AFC West,
We're
and
gonna
we're
talk
going to talk about
Kansas
two
City
teams,
leaving,
maybe
maybe
Kansas
not
City,
leaving.
and maybe Buffalo. We'll talk about those two teams possibly. Guys, it's been great. We'll see y'all next time. We're going to be dropping 2 episodes this week. The last episode, where again it was me and Manny. Again, I was on vacation. I'm sorry, I forgot to drop it. I got to get other people.
You were on vacation.
Yeah. I know it's hard. I don't usually take vacation. I was dragged by my wife, but
Where did you go?
we went to the shore.
Ah, never mind.
Yeah,
That's not vacation.
it's
You don't have a choice.
the shore is overrated in my opinion. I love the shore. I love it for the atmosphere, but it's horrible because I'm old, Manny. I don't like kids,
I don't.
and
like
there's nothing
sand.
but kids there now.
Well, it depends on which beach you go to, though.
Well, we went to Wildwood.
Oh yeah, obvious.
I wanted to throw my
You should
shoe
have went to
at a
Seaside.
kid.
Then. Seaside's the adult beach, bro.
I know, but
I know.
I wanted to throw a shoe at this kid. I really. Anyway,
I just don't like sand.
Well,
I hate sand. It's honestly
we
it.
don't. I'm not a beach person. We're not even really.
I think it's because we're fat. Let's be honest.
No, it's not that. It's just that I don't like going into a beach than going into a water, sucking on salt. I'd rather get a pretzel. But anyway, dropping 2 episodes this week. Get them back to back, guys. Like, subscribe, share. Give us your thoughts. Give us a thumbs up. We'll see y'all next time.
We'll hopefully have more people with us.
Well, hopefully, we'll bring Malik. Well, we're not bringing. Hopefully, Malik will be able to join us, as well as Lisa, or maybe somebody else. We'll see.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been great seeing you again. Hopefully, we'll see you again soon. Do we have sponsors yet? No.
Brought to you today by Zombie.
No. Well, yeah, because we have all the zombie material. But maybe a family member, a Steph. A shout out to you. Might sponsor us as well. See y'all again next time. Peace out.